It's the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul, the podcast about stories in business and in life with your hosts Ed Fox and Paul Odendahl. G'day viewers and listeners. It's another great episode of the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul.
Yes.
The guy above me, if you're watching the video, is Paul, and I'm down the bottom here, Special Ed. Hey, Paul, who's our guest today?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm confused at your settings, though. You're next to me and Robbert Trembath below the two. What the hell was that? Today's guest is Robbert Trembath from AIO Integrations. So he has been on the show before. He is an executive who is brilliant, I must say. And we are fortunate to have him on the show again. And this is also not only going to be for our viewers and for you, Ed, who has just returned from watching cricket overseas. God bless you. I'm glad Australians are ahead of England 2-1. But this is going to be a training for me because Robbert has been emailing me. He's pestering me. Audience. No, he's not pestering. He's been emailing me that he's got something he needs to share with me. So today I'm here to hear what he has to share. Was that enough, Ed?
That's great. Hey, Robbert, I know we've had you on before and we've talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
No, that was good, Paul. So update us. What's going on? And then let's talk a little bit about what AIO Integrations.
AIO.
Yeah, AIO. EIEIO.
He's been out of the country too long. He's been out of the country too long.
No, I don't have a farm. Anyway, I was going to... One of the big things that's happened, and if you've watched any of the news headlines over the last few weeks, you guys know about this kid that fell victim to hackers and committed suicide. Did you guys see that headline about 3 weeks ago?
Not.
Actually, I did not.
Yeah, so this is a growing concern, something that we've seen happen in the last, and this is some numbers from 2022, and this is regarding minors. Hackers are now focusing attacks on minors, teenage children. And there were over 7,000 documented attacks of what we call sextortion on teenagers just in 2022, and it's rising. It's up 600% this year over last year already.
Wow. And
it has resulted in 16 suicides. It's a very serious topic. And a lot of times, I'm going to say most of the times, not all, the parents have no clue this is happening. They find out after the fact, after their kid has committed suicide. They investigate this stuff and they find out, oh, wow, their kid was being blackmailed. Had no clue. As parents, I'm a father of sons and daughters. I've got 6 granddaughters, or actually, sorry, 2 grandsons, 4 granddaughters. I get them mixed up sometimes, but that's part of getting old, right? All I know is that I pay a lot of money because they're grandkids, and the money just goes out and out and out. But
right.
My newest one, Evie, was 2 weeks ago, so she's a newborn.
Oh wow, cool! Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's my 6th one. But anyway, we have put together a program. We took our cybersecurity training and completely made it free across the board. Not the actual product we sell for managed cybersecurity, but the awareness training.
Right.
So we have a site up. There's 2 programs. There's one for employees where you can get certification. So in other words, you take the course, you get tested, and you pass, and you get a certificate saying you passed. And you can use this. Companies can use this for their employees, as we talked about in the past, to get discounts, qualify for their cybersecurity insurance, and so on. We created a family version of this. They're in 3 parts. There's one meant for any kids using technology in the home that can understand, maybe age 8 and above, and the parents to watch together. That is a geared down version of that to make them aware of what's happening, to make them aware of how they're targeting through phones, social media, and other things. And then we have 2 shorter parts that are just for parents. One of them is about why they're hitting schools for information, the treasure trove of information they're hacking from schools, why it's such a treasure trove for hackers, and then how they're using social media to basically gather the rest of that information on their kids, not unknowingly, and then put that together. Basically, they're 10 years ahead of us. And we talk about how they're putting these two pieces together and they're building databases on our kids so that by the time they become worth something, they can pull their legs out from under them.
Right.
And this is something parents need to be aware of. They need to be able to recognize what these things are. They need to be able to warn their kids. They need to be able to be more proactive. And then we also talk about how to set policies in the home, kind of parental policies for their kids, and make them aware of digital tools that can help them be a better digital parent. So they can know what's going on, control with who their kids talk to, see who they're talking to, be aware that things like this are happening, and we've made that course free, and anybody can go watch it.
Where would they find that, Robbert?
Reviews on it.
Where would they find that?
It's training. Actually, if you just go to AIOsupport.net, and at the top right-hand corner, that's our new consumer-facing website. If you go to the top right-hand corner, it says more. And once you click on that, it says AIO training portal. If you click on that, you'll go on, and there's only two things. There's one for employees, one for families. It's very clear. All you have to do is put in your name, email address, and that's it. There's no checkout. There's no nothing. We'll approve it within 24 hours, and you can go in and take the course. And it's all video-driven and online and on demand.
And 100% free.
Yep, absolutely. This is really, as a father, a veteran, a father, a grandfather, this to me is they are going at the very fabric of who we are.
Right.
They're going after our kids. And luckily, they caught the people, these three Nigerians that did this to this kid, and the viciousness. So this kid, to give you an example of what's happening to this kid, this was a high schooler who was getting ready to go out on a football ride, had a pretty good kid, brought up well, from what I understand. He was approached by a group of Nigerians posing as a girl, sending him, of course, pictures and things that weren't of them, obviously, right, and got him to send them pictures of himself and then turn around and blackmailed him with it for $1,000. And the kid sent them $300. And when he couldn't send any more, they began to really harass him and threaten to release it to his family, his friends, and the kid was just devastated. Apparently, they got to see these texts afterwards. The police and FBI did, and the kid was desperate. You can't do that. I mean, I'd just kill myself and see have my family humiliated like that. And the hackers actually wrote back that, "Go ahead, you're going to wish you were dead by the time we're done with you."
Wow. And
he killed himself. Now, FBI, they caught him. They charged the three guys with murder. Doesn't bring back his kid. Right. Parents had no clue this was happening. There are things to prevent this from happening. Can we prevent everything? No. Can we see everything? No. But we have to start being more responsible digital parents.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So having those resources for parents is great. And we'll have, guys, if you didn't catch that link, don't worry. We'll have it in the show notes when this episode goes up. So You'll be able to access it. Now, Robbert, talk to us a little bit about what we were going to get into last time and ran out of time. I don't want to run out of time on this time.
So who AIO is? So AIO stands for all-in-one. We do a tremendous amount of things. So our specialty is small business, what we call the micro business market, like under 50 employee companies, home-based companies. And now we're expanding to provide protection for families because we're just seeing too much. We're seeing families being manipulated, not understanding what's happening. So we've actually created a family product recently, and we'll send you links to that.
Yeah, and it's not only cybersecurity, but also keeping the health of your computer. We hear so many times.
Fully managed IT. In fact, the new packages, we just put out new packages. We do one for home, we do one for small business. So I'll talk about the business one.
Okay.
The business one, we created a flat fee product that includes everything your business needs up to 10 computers. So if you got a small home-based business with 3, 5, 10 computers, it's the same amount. It includes managing your device. It includes help desk services. It includes the managed cybersecurity product. It includes full imaging backup. In other words, there's nothing to configure. There's no storage limit. We're going to back up your entire main server or your main computer holding your data to the net with persistent storage that hackers can't touch, and in a real enterprise encrypted system, and that's included. We're also going to include a $1 million financial protection plan that says if somebody gets in using our stuff, if you're using our stuff and somebody gets in your system, we're going to pay up to $1 million to remediate it. 500,000 in general liability, 100,000 towards any ransom. It's all defined out on our webpage, but it's backed and underwritten by Cysurance, which is an actual insurance company. They like the product so much it's been underwritten by them. So it is, and we protect right now over 5,000 individuals and businesses. So without a single breach, and knock on wood, got to do that, because the one thing you don't do is what, like the guy from LifeLock did. You don't go out and say, "Hey, here's my social security number. Attack me. I dare you." Yeah, they breached that guy like 5 times. That wasn't very smart.
Well, yeah, exactly. Paul, do you have any questions for Robbert?
No, I'm still taken back on the initial conversation about the child.
Yeah, I know you work with seniors, Paul. Seniors are another thing that are very highly targeted. And we actually, when we were building this program, I have, being 55, I have a lot of family that's in their 70s and 80s right now, including my own parents. And so I used them as the kind of the test bed as we were building this to make sure we could build something that was easy for seniors, anybody to understand and look at. We give examples of what phishing mail looks like. We show people, we show them how to recognize those things so they can just quickly understand what they are and delete them and not be caught up by them. We talk about the pop-ups that come up on your screen and how to recognize whether they're legitimate or not. And we actually show you and tell you how to get out of those things so you don't end up becoming a victim. We talk about, what kind of companies notify you in certain ways and what to do if you're ever in doubt. And we talk about cell phones. This right here, a lot of people don't realize there are 20 times more cell phones. I got to hold it up where you can see it. There are 20, I think the number's like 20 times more cell phone tablet devices online than there are actual computers.
Right.
And this is what there's a lot of families don't even have computers. They just have phones. And
Robbert, thank you for the recognition of seniors, but I have a tremendous heart for the youth.
Yes.
I spend a lot of time working with 16 to 25-year-olds. So not only do I love seniors, but I
didn't know that. So thank you
I spend a lot of time with the youth, who need a lot of loving guidance. And this is heartbreaking to listen to this. So
you need to make them aware that these things happen. These kids have this misnomer that, like Instagram and Snapchat and people don't save images. Well, here's the reality of the world. If you are hitting it on a browser or an app or anything like that, it's on a server. There's a copy of it on a server. In order for you to view it, it has to download a copy of that to the local device. So, and there are ways to extract those things. In most of the device policies for like WhatsApp and Snapchat and Facebook and these things, guess what you give them access to when you agree to use their apps? You give them access to your entire device, your history, your pictures, your keyboard tracking. You give them access to everything. And I'm going to tell you, but I don't know about you guys, but I have access to my bank account here. I have access to my business accounts here. These phones for adults are the keys to the kingdom, and hackers know it.
Right.
Robert, it seems to me, so grateful you're on again. And you also know how I feel about education. So first of all, we are becoming enlightened to where education has failed us. And we're also becoming enlightened to where we stand within a world community as far as education on the greatest planet on earth. I mean, the greatest country on earth. So education is extremely important. And this seems like an extension of, or an electron extension of, bullying.
It's even worse. It's complete manipulation. I mean, when you pose as somebody you're not and then turn around and use that as a way to blackmail somebody, get them to do something that's totally out of character for them. I mean, it's a form of evil. I don't even understand, but it's out there, it's happening, and our kids are increasingly becoming targets. This has been very well known for years to happen to adults. They would send emails saying, "Oh, we caught you doing something on your webcam. We have access to your webcam." And they'll send out millions trying to see who they can snag. And none of it's legitimate. None of it's real. It's just seeing whose conscience they can play off of.
Well, okay. And not only that, I had a friend in Australia. We just happened to be there for lunch a few years ago when we were visiting. And he said, "Oh, hang on a sec. I got to grab my credit card and pay Microsoft to fix my computer." I said, "Woo, woo, 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 woo. Before you do that, what the hell's going on?" And it was just a total scam, right? They're like, "Oh, we can."
Microsoft does not contact you to tell you your computer's broken. Okay, right. They don't do that. You can call Microsoft.
They say that I've got this. Yeah, they say I've got this problem and that it's going to cost $180 to fix, and I need to give them my credit card right now. I said, "Tony, whatever you do, don't do it. Just say you've got an Apple and that you don't use Microsoft products, and they'll leave you alone."
Yeah, Robbert, I've experienced know better because they're probably already in. But the case is that these companies don't reach out to you. It's like these guys, these phone calls, or these texts saying, "We're the IRS. We're from the FBI. We're coming out to arrest you for the IRS because you owe $12,000." Well, I'm sorry, we didn't outsource our collections to India for the IRS. It doesn't quite work like that. I just find it absolutely crazy, the stuff that people buy into. And I mean, I see stuff all the time. I just saw one come across that was a warning for Windows and it was just this big picture. It says your account's been violated. Click here to resolve and reset. And it was a scan code. It said, "Scan this code," a QR code. And all it is a QR code to scan and put malware on your phone. Yeah, and I mean, and they're doing that via email now.
Wow.
I experienced this, Robert, so I see how people can fall prey to this. Just as the pandemic began, I got multiple threats, and they tracked it back to Nigeria, and I sent it to the New York State troopers. Multiple threats on my wife and I, and they were emailing, zeroing it right down to my actual address where I lived, threatening to kill my wife, my children, and me if X amount of dollars weren't sent them. And they were repeatedly doing it. And then I sent all that information to the New York State Police, who followed up on that.
There's a guy on TED that is an English bloke, and I think he's English. Some of the accents are hard to tell, but he's a skinny, nerdy guy. And he actually, he uses what we call a sandbox computer that is in a safe environment, and he engages these people on purpose, just for fun, for comedy, and he displays it in his show. And he'll take these things. I want you to help me import some gold into the U.S. and it's the magistrate of some country or something. So he responds, "Oh, I'd be happy to help you with that." And "Oh, yeah. Well, you just need to go here to this website and open up a bank account." And of course, it's a fake site. And he would say something crazy like, "What about my free toaster?" And the guy's like, "There is no free toaster." And the guy actually goes into Photoshop and makes up an ad with the bank's name he has. It says free toaster. He goes, "But here, look, it says free toaster." At this point, they know he's totally screwing with him.
Messing with
him.
But
it's hilarious. They come back and he's like, he's having conversations. "Well, let's start low with, just a few 10 bars." No, man, I want to do 100, 200 bars. I want to become a millionaire. He just totally goes over the top of these people. And it's absolutely funny how he harasses them with their own stuff to the point where they just can't take it anymore. And I just absolutely love it.
Yeah. The other one I see all the time, of course, is duplicating your Facebook friends accounts, where they go in and take your picture and then they send you a chat. "Have you heard the good news?" "Oh, yeah, I have. I already got my grant money. Thank you for asking."
Yeah, well, there's a difference between being hacked and being spoofed, and people need to understand this.
They say they're hacked all the time. They say they're hacked all the time, but they're not. They're just being spoofed.
Yeah, this happened to my aunt. This has to do with the fact that people aren't locking down their profile from people being by default, Facebook doesn't lock down anything. Okay. Right. So you got to go into your profile and make sure that only your friends, not friends of friends, but only your friends can see your details. In other words, they have to be your friend before they can see your pictures, any bio information on you, all that stuff. And that will prevent you from being spoofed. My aunt, who's in her 70s, she's been spoofed 3 times already, and nobody ever talked to her about it. She finally talked to me about it. I said, yeah, you need to go lock this down and this will stop happening. They're taking her profile picture straight off her profile and recreating other profiles that look just like her and sending invites out to all her friends because they can see her friends.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks it's her starting up a new profile.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are getting wise to that game and just not doing it, but you still see people fall for it.
Robbert. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Robbert, I want to get back to the original product that we first heard about from you when we first talked, and you and I had a long conversation, had a one-on-one a few months ago. But this is a product that allows people peace of mind, not only from the cybersecurity side, but also having all of those issues come up when they're struggling with their computer. Now, do you offer this product on the phones as well, either the cybersecurity product or the
We don't have it for phones yet. We're working on that.
Okay.
We do have the phones are a little bit different in what we can do with them.
Right.
We can only do so much on a phone, and a lot of it has to do with the app stores. And the problem is the app stores are what really allow things in or out based on the permissions. And we're finding, I think one of the conversations we had prior, we talked about there are literally hundreds of apps now they're finding that were malware, disguised as malware. And a lot of them are things like password managers, posing as security programs, games. I mean, a number of things. And they've basically been skimming bank information and a lot of other things. And then, of course, they almost all report back to the Chinese in some way. So sites like Temu, don't use them. Don't put those apps on your phone. Wish was another one that was really bad. I remember one time my wife didn't know any better. She ordered something she thought was a really good deal on some patio furniture. That was like $250. I'm like, there's no way that's $250. And you know what they sent us? They sent us a little umbrella this big that had a tracking number in a box. It was a little umbrella. And so they could put a tracking number to it. And of course, by the time we got back we found out that this Shopify site through Wish was gone.
Right.
And so we contacted Shopify. We found that they were using Facebook Marketplace to basically market. They would get as much as they could, and they would ship these little just toy crap out so they could attach a tracking number to something, and so they could charge your card, say we shipped it, and charge your card, which is what's legally required. Oh, here's your tracking number. We're charging your card now. So they would charge these cards, and then literally a week later disappear after scamming people for hundreds of thousands of dollars. We made Shopify aware of it. They're in Canada. You know what they told us? They told us we don't care. And I said, really? I said, well, you'll care so we work with a liaison program to the FBI here as technology people to kind of work and find out what they're doing and help report things as kind of a two-way communication. At the time, I made them aware of it. And he said, are they making money from it? And I said, yeah, they're making a percentage of the credit card fees. He goes, and they're an accomplice.
Wow.
And so I contacted them back and I said, we had this conversation. I said, I just want to verify something. Are you processing the credit cards for these transactions through Shopify? Yeah, we are. So you're making a percentage of that transaction. Yeah. I said, well, you're an accomplice to the crime then. And it has been reported to FBI. Over 100 shops disappeared within 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. As soon as they learned they could be liable, all of a sudden they cared. And this is the big tech. This is the big tech mentality. They don't really care about customers. They care about what goes into the bottom line. And that's really sad.
Yeah.
So it's really
folks,
sad.
As we wrap up, Robbert, the prices are going to change depending on how big the company is, that sort of stuff. And over time, because this podcast is going to hang around for 100 years. So we'll all be.
We haven't raised a price in 3 years.
Okay.
And what we do, what's different about what we do, and I'll make it very quick because I know we're running out of time. Most solutions just sell you a piece of software, or you have an IT company that manages your stuff. They do the very bare minimum, and they They license some software, what's called an RMM, to manage your device. What's different about us is we actually have what's called a SOC, a Security Operations Center. So that Security Operations Center is manned by certified cybersecurity professionals who have actually got degrees and have graduated coursework in that. So as opposed to us just putting, ESET or Semantic or McAfee or something on your system, which is actually terribly ineffective, we put an actually AI-powered product that stops 99.9% of threats in real time. It notifies the Security Operations Center in real time, and they get notified and they look at it and see, is this a threat or not? We get less than 1% what we call false positives. In other words, where it's detected something and it's not what it's supposed to be. The AI is really good. It actually there's two types of AI that's used in product. It's machine learning and what we call deep learning AI. Deep learning AI is more on the side of what like Teslas and Mercedes use to drive cars. It's actually imitates the function of a brain. Right. So we don't have to update it every week. It learns from the stuff that it sees, and it learns by the actions of your PC what is volatile to your system and what isn't, and then is very, very good at identifying threats in real time. So it's the software, the people, and then the management of that together that make it a really valuable solution. There's not another solution out there where, at least at the micro level like this, you'd have to go to something like Cisco Umbrella or Signet or some of these other bigger products that require you to license, 500, 1,000 units, and nobody's got that kind of money, and it's still pretty expensive at that point.
Folks, Paul and I both highly recommend Robbert and what he's doing with cybersecurity and also with computer. How do you term that? Computer servicing or health? We
call it just it's IT management. We specialize in managing technology for businesses, but we do a lot more than that. What we do is we get into a business and we talk with owners, and so we provide this as a base. The big thing we do that really helps businesses is we really help them make money. I'll give you an instance. We have a car company that runs a high-end taxi service, kind of car service for people that go to the airport in Austin. Very high-end. He's got about 14 drivers, and he brings people. All he does is bring people back and forth to the airport. He's an ex-Dell executive that's made a lot of money, retire, and this is what he's decided to do in his off time. And he's run the company to a point where he's so busy that it's driving him absolutely crazy. It's almost costing. I mean, it's literally becoming an item in their marriage because they don't have any time to do anything. What we did is we brought players into companies because we deal with so many different solutions in so many different industries. We saw a way to automate a lot of what he does. And we brought a couple of software automation pieces that allow him to manage his drivers, see his schedules. He used to spend 4 hours a day just doing scheduling. It's going to be cut down to like 1.5. So it allows him to scale his business and make more money and have a peace of mind, save his marriage, and have a life.
Right.
We don't go into business to work our asses off. We go into business to make some money and actually have a real life outside of that, right?
Exactly. Well, Robbert, thanks for being on the show. I want to get with you and actually get signed up on what you're doing as well for my computers.
Absolutely.
Paul, you didn't get to say much today, Paul. I know you got focused on the way we started, and we need to.
No, I got focused on the way we started. I am
so sorry about bringing a boner into that.
I have the link. No, it's important to hear. I was thinking God listens to our show, and I'm always about humor, Ed and I. I'm like, tomorrow's Powerball's $1 billion. $1 billion. God, bring me to $1 billion, please, so that I could just stop everything I'm doing and just work with Robbert.
I just sent you the link in the chat to the new site. It's a new site we just launched for the consumer side. All the products are on there for small businesses and businesses.
Just don't forget to put them. Just don't forget to put them through me. So I have the link.
You have a code you need to publish.
I know. I got a code that gives 20% discount.
Yep. Okay. But you know what? I'm stopping the recording right here. Thanks for being on the show, Robbert.
Thank you.
Look forward to talking to you again. Well, that's it for this edition of the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul. Thanks for listening. As always, we appreciate it. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube. Thanks a lot and have a great day.